Hey everybody, this is Captain Kyle and I'm here with a special review for you guys. This is Menasaur, but I have news for you. It is very pretty, but it is a knockoff. So what I would like to do is show you this very high quality knockoff that looks genuine in a lot of ways. We're gonna go through it and see if it's worth the price I paid, just in case you might consider getting one yourself. Be right back. So if you're a G1 collector or someone trying to fill in your G1 collection, you may be aware of all these knockoffs that are showing up on eBay and other places that look like genuine things, like this Menasaur gift set. Now I've already opened it because I wanted to put the stickers on it so it would look good in this review. I have to say, from the outside, if I didn't know better, I would think this could possibly be a genuine reissue. The box is in such good condition that you wouldn't necessarily think it's vintage, it's not faded at all, or it was vintage and somebody put it in a hermetically sealed chamber. But you can tell very easily if it is a knockoff, if it's series 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Rub signs are the key, because if you look at a toy like this and there's no rub sign, but it has little stickers for the rub sign, then that means it's one of these high quality knockoffs. That is the best way to tell. Sometimes they won't even have the factory stickers applied, but they'll supply them. Sometimes they won't. Dang it with my gnaw. In all other respects, it looks a lot like the G1. So let's take it out and check the quality and see if it's up to the standards of the original. Now I do want to show you the packaging on the back. It looks so good. It's got all the tech specs for all the individual Stunticons. It has a tech spec for Menasaur. It has this very cool picture from pretty much the second series. Stunticons and aerial bots were kind of on the cusp between Series 2 and Series 3. Series 3 had a lot of stuff from the movie. The Stunticons, aerial bots, Combaticons, and Protectobots were all introduced in Season 2 of the Transformers before the movie was to take place. Of course, where they were during the movie, who knows? Inside the packaging, you can see there's a lot of styrofoam. There is a ton. I mean, they could have been a little bit more efficient. They probably took a couple centuries off the environment using this thing, but it's got all the pieces. I never had an original gift set of Menasaur. I bought them separately. So I recall Motormaster was in a box and all the smaller cars were carded. It looks to me like it's exactly what the gift set would be on the inside. So let's pop these guys out and take a look. So with the box being the same size, this is probably how the original set was laid out and what it looked like. The box looks genuine. The only difference is, I think, if they were gonna do a reissue today, Hasbro would probably make the box multilingual like they did with the Devastator gift set that was the Walmart exclusive. As you can see, I have a nice little kitten who's joining me, but of course making it difficult to show you Motormaster and the other Stunticons, so I'm gonna show them here and then over there. But as you can see, we have Motormaster, we have Dragstrip, we have Breakdown, Wild Rider, Dead End. They all look exactly like the original. As I said, I did put the stickers on. Well, I had help. My girlfriend helped because she has a very precise touch. But again, one of the telltale signs that this is not a genuine Hasbro Takara product is the rub signs. They were not actually on these toys. They were separate and they don't even work. So I can rub this all day long and that didn't sound right, and nothing's gonna happen. But as you can see, the vehicle modes look pretty much exactly the same. They have the same wheels that roll. When I roll back and forth some of these, it feels like there may be some slight flaws in the plastic, but it's hard to tell if the originals would be like that. But vehicle modes, right on point. So much for King of the Road. One thing I found interesting about the Stunticons in the show, they were created by Megatron because the Autobots were so good on the road and all that stuff. The Autobots had to do the aerial bots, but they were unstoppable. In the first couple episodes, they were smashing through. They had force fields. They just ran over everybody. They were pretty much unstoppable except by the aerial bots. And then later on, the Autobots took care of them without a problem. It just seems weird that their power level dipped so precipitously after their introduction. Now, the vehicles also come with the vehicular weapons that I rarely used. These big honking cannons that plug into the back of the car and definitely take away that whole robots in disguise vibe. Now Motormaster, I'm king of the road. Can kind of open up there and you can put his little car there and it rolls down the ramp. So the interesting thing with the Stunticons, Aerial Bots, Protectobots, and Combaticons is they're all interchangeable. All the small ones can plug into all the other bases, and they can also plug into Metroplex, into his legs and his arms to give him extra power. I think you may have also been able to like hook this up a little bit to Trypticon at some point, but I never bothered. So that's the vehicle and base and attack modes of these guys. And I have to say they are pretty much right on point in every way. Let's get them into the robot modes and then we'll of course take a look at Menasaur. They do come with all the weapons and merge pieces, which are important. So Motormaster looks like his normal self. Of course, he can move his arms back and forth. His head does not turn. And the legs are pretty much there. I mean, you could make him do a Jean-Claude Van Damme. He doesn't look very comfortable doing it, but there's no real knee articulation. He could do a side kick, that's about it. And there he is. There's Drag Strip in all his glory. He's got his maroon gun. Now his chest plate is a little loose. So this is, I'm gonna say, a minus for it being a knockoff. So you could a little sticky stuff like magician's wax or something to make it stay in place, or you could just push it and hope for the best. I mean, it doesn't flop over unless you like really hit him or tip him. Okay, so that's pretty loose. So you might want to do something. You might also be able to put a little bit of Gunk or Crazy Glue or just Elmer's glue around the joint so it just makes it a little bit more stiff. I just keep saying these things today so that that doesn't flip open so much. So that's a definite minus, but again, it depends on what mode you're going to keep him and display him in as well. So breakdown seems overall good, except I noticed that his legs don't quite align perfectly up and down. As I recall with my original, it just snapped into place. So there's a slight, I don't know what the error is, but it doesn't quite snap, but he still stands fine. It's not that big of a deal. And maybe some of the ones that Hasbro put out also had this kind of little slight bow-leggedness. Now Dead End, as I'm transforming him, this part seems a little rough, so I'm just gonna be a little careful. I had to wiggle it a little bit to get the legs to align, so just be aware of that. I mean, overall, the quality on these guys, I have to say, is 98, 99%. But there are some slight things you just want to be careful. There's Dead End in all his depressed glory. And of course, the guy you really want to go to parties with, Wild Rider. And he transforms perfectly well, looks fine. I don't sense any disturbance in the force. I mean, I don't feel any quality issues with him. And so there they are, the Stunticons. But of course what you want to see is Menasaur. Me too. It comes with all the pieces for Menasaur. I don't need to look at the directions for this. Menasaur is definitely one of the more sturdy of the Series 3 combiners, Scramble City Bots, but he's also a little shorter, a little smaller than the others. And for some reason, there was a whole flurry of different knockoff sets of Aerial Bots and Protectobots. And the weird thing about the one of the Stunticons is it only came with 2 of the small guys and then 2 Technobots. It was a really weird set, which is one reason I never picked up that particular knockoff set, because I didn't want Menasaur, well, 3/5 of Menasaur and 2/5 of Computron. So there you have him, Menasaur. Now, one thing I've noticed about this knockoff is that he does have a tendency to lean forward. That's just due to some looseness in the joints of the heads of Breakdown and Wild Rider. So you might want to stiffen that up a little bit, but otherwise he's got the same articulation, though his crotch piece likes to fall off. If I say too much, we're going to get the yellow $sign. So I would say 95%. Again, he's a little loose in the knees, so he can flop forward. I know some people like to put Breakdown and Wild Rider in the other way, which is not how it's shown on the box or in the instructions, I don't believe. I don't know about the instructions. I suppose I could look at them. And he seems a little more stable with them in the other way. And at least with the cars reversed on the bottom, his knees go the right way. But again, overall, I'd say it's worth it. This cost me $1 million. No, this cost me $85.99 plus applicable state sales tax with free shipping. Took a little while to get here, came from China, and I bought a bunch of other stuff with him. Oh my God, did you see that? He died. Yeah, so I would say definitely you're gonna wanna do something to make the knees a little bit stiffer. Not bad for the price to get him. He looks very nice. You can put on your own stickers and mess them up if you want to. And if you're gonna keep him separated, there's no issues. If you're gonna keep him like this, you could always lean him in a certain way so that he's stable, or again, since this is a little loose, maybe a little bit of blue tack or that tacky stuff you can stick posters to walls with. Or I'm a former magician. Well, I don't think you ever stop being a magician. And there's something called magician's wax that you could put a little dab there and that would kind of stick that into place. So there's different ways to deal with that, but overall it's a nice set for the money. And if you're one of those in-box people, it looks really good in the box. There you have them, the Stunticons. Now we will be going over some other of these knockoff reissue type things in the future. And I have a feeling they're gonna be similar, as in being almost as good as the original. But I will put a link down in the description if you would like to get this set. It's unfortunate that the high quality knockoffs of the Combiner Wars ones, I have never seen an actual Menasaur set. So get on that, you knockoff people. Standard disclaimer, knockoffs are illegal, but they're unlikely to come after you for owning one. Just if you manufacture them, you might be in legal trouble. So links below for this set, and while you're waiting to get these, or while you're debating, or while you're deciding to hunt down the originals, which is also a good option, you can also check out these videos over here. If you haven't already, you can subscribe down there, hit that notification bell, follow us on the social things, and we will see you next time. And as always, have fun and good hunting.